"Are you sure?" said a male voice. "Yes, she has to be awake for this," answered a female one. "If you say so." Sir, ma'am, she's waking up," intervened another voice with a slight edge of urgency. Alexandra frowned as her implants sent her a status update. It seemed that whatever that woman had put in her crystal sword, it was effective. It had knocked out her implants, despite all the redundancies. Then again, they were built to survive EMPs, microwave beams, and gamma radiation, not magic. Her brain waking up had jump-started the reactivation process, and information started pouring in. She was okay. Nutrients and fluid levels were optimal, and all of the indicators on the medical system were green. Well, here goes nothing, she thought as she opened her eyes. The first thing she saw was the barrel of a pistol hovering centimeters from her face. Naturally, she focused on it before looking up to see a woman gently push the weapon away. She was beautiful, white hair, glowing red eyes, and quite the beautiful face. The hair and eyes didn't put Alexandra off, as certain people had done far more to themselves using biomodifications and genetic alterations throughout human space. She was wearing what seemed to be white metal armor with red crystals that didn't seem to be rubies, as their shade was too light, encrusted at specific places. The second person, the one holding the pistol, was wearing what looked to be light power armor with a deep red visor. The power armor soldier, the male voice that had spoken earlier, said, "Ma'am, this isn't safe. You should—" "Lieutenant, I understand your caution, but I am powerful enough to obliterate her in a single blow. I'm hardly at risk. Calm down," said the woman in an odd tone. She seemed tired and excited somehow. Kind of like an engineer who'd spent their whole night on a project and was on the verge of throwing the switch to see if it worked. Alexandra looked the woman directly in the eyes. She had an aura or something. She'd heard in passing that extremely powerful people, especially in the upper hundreds of levels, had this aura, as if the space around them was vibrating with energy, the same as very powerful enchantments sometimes did on the objects they were cast upon. The woman sighed. "I'm terribly sorry about what is about to happen, but I wanted you to know that your sacrifice will serve a greater goal, one that you would have undoubtedly adhered to had you been given the opportunity." As she said that, she looked at a red crystal she was holding in her hand. It looked odd. She then stepped back, and before Alexandra's panicked mind could fully process the implications, she took a dagger handed over by her lieutenant and plunged it into Alexandra's heart. For a second, everything seemed to stop. Then a cascade of alerts and pain overwhelmed her brain as her implants started releasing painkillers. However, with her heart stopping, there was no blood flow to propagate them. Alexandra felt another stab of pain as the woman sliced her chest open and plunged her hand into it. The pain overwhelmed the Earthborn. For a second, all she could think of was pain. Then she marshaled her thoughts, purely and simply switched off entire chunks of her brain in an attempt to save the rest, and triggered her implant's Omega protocols, breezing past the emergency confirmation process. The Omega protocols were a series of protocols built into every Eurofed military implant suit and starship. They were only to be activated upon imminent destruction/death. They did two things. One, they sent an encrypted, high-powered, omnidirectional distress signal with a data dump containing as much information about the situation as possible, which was vital to find out what had happened to a missing and destroyed ship, for example. Two, for implants at least, it automatically triggered the self-destruct protocols buried into the microfusion reactor that powered the implants. As the woman's hand reached where Alexandra's core was, Alexandra's pain suddenly stopped. In fact, everything stopped. She seemed to be floating.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.